Hello. Wait. Welcome. It's Bill again. And I'm going to attempt something. I'm kind of nervous. No, just kidding. I saw, you get news feeds on the internet all the time. And at some point I had Julia Child's cookbook, and Lord knows where it went. Maybe I just felt it was too much for me, but there was a recipe that always stood out, and I think the reason it always stood out in my mind was because when I was fairly young, we went out to some fancy place for dinner, someone's birthday or whatever, and I was fascinated by the concept. When I tried, and everyone's like, "You won't like that, don't order that." And the menu item was Coquilles Saint-Jacques. So I don't know exactly which way to go with it. I want to be about as true French as I can, because, obviously that's Julia Child's. But I think that this will be something really fun to make, and I'm going to show you how you're just going to know how to make something that is just outstanding and fairly simple. And I'm going to show you how I make it so that it kind of is easier. So first I got some butter, and normally I'm out here preheating and everything. Butter heats up so fast, I really was afraid to do that. So I just had a little butter here, and I cut it into funny little slices so I knew it would melt really fast. And what are we doing here? Oh, look at it melt. Yeah, it's like instantaneous. So this is about making the first part of the sauce, and I'm doing some of this from research and notes that I had, but I'm also doing this from kind of the heart of what I think it should be like, and hopefully it's going to be fantastic. And because I've made it other ways before, excuse me, but I want to put a little twist on it, so like I always do. Alright, so the butter's coming up here. So I've got a cooking onion. Now everything I've minced up like pretty intensely, so it's not huge. And I was going to tell you need about half a cup. Well, there's a little bit more in here, because when I looked, I got some more scallops than I needed. I got extra of everything. So I'm going to give you the recipe as if you were following it verbatim to how it should be, but just knowing that I'm putting extra stuff in here. Alright, it's all getting happy. And yeah, this is about 2 tablespoons of butter. You don't need to go crazy. And I picked this pan because I thought, you know what? If Miss Child's watching this, she'd be like, "That's a perfect pan." I used to be able to imitate her voice, and I can't anymore. I'm too old. But this is just a great. It's a nice, beautiful bowl type dish. So I got a shallot that I cut up. Made me cry a little. This one's pretty intense, so we'll see. That's why you cook everything a little bit, just to soften it. It not only softens the texture, but the flavor. Alright, so we're just going to let this go to town. We don't want to burn anything, so we're going to stay on that heat control. This is going to be beautiful. I had some other recipes that have really strain my poor little brain with that I'm trying to dial in, and hopefully I got some other really cool stuff. Probably simpler than this, okay. It's just a little extra. And the reason is because it's going to be that Hallmark day, yeah. Valentine's Day is coming up. So this is for all you people that want to make something special for your significant other. And there's not a huge amount of prep, you know, so the hardest thing about this probably is, depending where you live, is finding a place where you can buy really, really good sea scallops. Let the cat out of the bag, that's part of it, you know, so this recipe was always made with bay scallops, because they were more readily available, especially when you live up north, and problem is they cook till they're chewy like in no time at all. So the sea scallops definitely give you a better texture. Okay. So I'm kind of pampering this a little bit because I don't want it to burn. Just want to start to get it softened. These are jumping all over me, man. This little shallot didn't want to be a part of the fun. Alright, it's getting a little toasty. So turn it down a little bit. Oh yeah. So I can already smell how things have mellowed out, which is a good thing. Yeah, well, this is beautiful. Alright, so now I've got a couple cloves of garlic. Just going to let that start to soften. Beautiful. I tell you, stuff was making my eyes water this morning. I can't believe it. I've never had a shell like that before over the garlic. That was this strong, but that's why I'm putting a little extra effort in cooking it down. Alright, let's just get started. I don't want to preheat the oven too early because otherwise it'll get toasty in here. Which is ironic because it's rainy and dreary outside. Okay, everything is beautiful. It's nice and soft, and I'm just being really overly cautious. I'm not walking away from the pan for any length of time. Let me put my stuff in the sink, dirty dishes. Okay, so what do we got to do now? I have half a cup of heavy cream. Instantly it's coming to a little bit of a boil. Stuff thickens really quickly. So now I'm going to turn it off. Let the heat of the pan, yeah, I need to turn it off too quick. So it's the butter in here that saves it. Okay, down and low. It's got this beautiful thickness to it. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so what do I got to do now? I need a couple bay leaves. Could be one. Remember I always told you, My bay leaves aren't always the freshest, so I'm trying to get these submerged in here, get a little flavor out of them. And I want a good tablespoon of fresh thyme. I'm gonna stir that up and see how it looks. Heck yeah, it's beautiful. Alright, so you just brought that to a little bit of a boil. Remember, if you've got a nice thick bottom pan, heavy bottom pan, it's going to really hold that heat, because everything, I'm just making sure the bay leaves are getting nice and soft, and I want to perfume out that thyme in here. Oh yeah, just lovely dovely. Okay, so I'm going to stir this till I know it's cool, and I'm going to come back and we're going to have it all set up to finish. So I'll see you back in just a minute. Hey, so the onion mixture here is cooled down, and I'm just scraping down the sides to make sure, and I'm just going to let it sit here off the heat. And if you know me, out comes the bay leaves.
What?
Oh, this mixture is so good. So if I do everything right, and we will see by the end, this is going to be really good. Okay, so I want to get my heat going here a little bit. So I got probably about 1.25 pounds of these beautiful scallops. These are beautiful, beautiful sea scallops. How many times can I say the word beautiful? And I need to get 2 tablespoons of butter with 2.5 tablespoons. I need enough to cover the bottom. Olive oil. So we get the flavor and we get the burn point up there a little higher. So the trick is I need enough heat to really sear these scallops, but not too much, because I don't want to burn everything, okay? So and yes, I'm a scaredy cat, so I'm using a non-stick pan, but it's a very heavy non-stick pan. Alright, so it's really simple. I'm going to take some of these that I've had sitting on paper towel. They were just in the fridge. And we're going to do this kind of in steps. Can't lose these guys. They're too big, man. Okay, paper towel here. So, I need to get some flour on. And shake off the excess. I got my tongs on the ready. And if you had just 1 pound, that would be perfect. Like I said, I went a little crazy. Sorry. Wet hand. I'm trying to rush. You know what happens when you do that. And there is a little pepper in the flour, because that's really about the only seasoning we're using at this stage of the game. So definitely works better. I'm just looking for, you know, the heat to creep. Comes up the sides of the scallops. I know that side's done. They're not quite there. So hopefully I'm going to get these all in there. If not, I'll cry. I was like, this is all I got. I said, well, I'll take them. I need to put a disclaimer. Do as I say, not as I do. Try to make home for one more. Alright. And they're not touching. Hey, I did a great job. So now that I'm back and ready, one thing you want to remember when you dredge is make sure you have plenty of flour in the dish. I used to do that paper plate thing, you have to keep adding flour. That doesn't work. Alright, now I got some that I can tell. Yeah, they're just starting to get there. These are really sweet, really fresh. You gotta know the guy, you know, that's selling it to you. I could sit here and read a book probably. This is gonna take a little time, but don't worry, it'll be worth it. Yeah, this would do somebody proud, man. These are beautiful. Beautiful, I'm telling you. And I didn't even make a huge mess. Trust me, the kitchen staff will be thrilled. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. First couple ones you flip, it's because you're nervous. You gotta know what's going on. And after that, it's, you know, so I always kind of like look for the smaller ones because you know they're going to cook faster. Oh yeah. So it's really funny. So what you're going to get is this little bit of crust on them. It's very delicate. We don't want them all like floury and hard to talk and drooling. I've learned this over the years. But these things are just going to be absolutely divine. Oh, I'm all excited. This is like going to be so good. And just keep scanning the crowd, looking. And it's funny that, like I said, I think I tried making it once, but I was too intimidated by the whole process. And you know, sometimes just opening up a French cookbook makes you nervous. But it shouldn't be, you know. This is so hard to do. And trust me, you could eat these just the way they are. And it's funny, as the flour's starting to kind of burn on the bottom. It's just, what can I say? That does looking really fantastic. So, if you're not sure how to do this, there's a trick I learned a long time ago. Is when you put them in the pan, try and pick out the smallest ones and go from left to right or whatever works for you, so you know that the ones on the left, you're going to be flipping first. I'm just looking at them so that I can kind of make that decision, because I didn't expect trying to catch them in the pan for starters. And everything seems to have good color to it. Going back on some of these that I wasn't exactly thrilled with the first time around. Oh yeah, now they're... And sometimes it's because you've lost your flour. The color is purely based on the flour. Alright, so I'm going to call this really good. So watch what we're going to do now. Set these aside. I need half a cup of white wine. And a Sauvignon Blanc is beautiful, perfect for this. And just a half a cup. And we've got a pretty hot pot here. I didn't go overboard. And we're just trying to get some really good flavor out of this, right? So this is going to kind of steam to make sure that these scallops have the perfect flavor to them, right? And I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm reducing the alcohol, the wine, cooking out the alcohol, reducing the wine, and I'm going to see it pretty quickly completely disappear, which is it's almost already done because we've got such a hot pan here. Alright, so now what I need to do, turning it down, yeah, let me steal my stir here. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it down. Now I got to get my onion mixture in here. that thyme has been sitting there and making all happy, because I want that to really come through. And thyme's really subtle, you know. I think it's just a perfect herb to use with most French cooking. I love it with seafood, I love it with potatoes, you know, your proteins, your starches. I mean, it's just great. Alright, so I just need to wiggle this around. And we've got it really beautiful. To me, this is really not that hard, and it shouldn't be for you either. I'm just kind of making the gravy and getting everything happy. I want to get it all back to a nice toasty warm. You gotta be gentle. I don't want to tear up these beautiful scallops. It's wonderful, sweet. So I can't say this is a flourless roux, but if you noticed, I cooked down the heavy cream, which really became my sauce, and the little bit of flour on the bottom of the pan here is going to thicken up that mixture that it cooked in with the help of reducing with that wine. Now everything's all mixed, so I'm trying to be really delicate around. And guess what? It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so I need to let this cool down. Oven just came up to temperature, so I want to show you how we're going to put this together and really surprise the heck out of you. I'll be back in 30 seconds to get this staged for you. Alright, so this is beautiful. Alright, so I just want to show you what I did. I know you've seen me cook with these before. These are just ceramic ramekins, and I'm making this into a dinner, right? So I wanted to have enough. You know, it used to be served in clamshells. Which, you know, and then they started making porcelain clamshells to make them in, and I said, well, heck with that. Let's just go all out. So let me show you what I want to do. First, I need to get the scallops out, and honestly, I lost count, but I think I can do about 5 scallops in each one. That's enough to fill anybody's tummy. And I buttered these dishes, so I put them in the fridge, and just want to give them a little bit of time to get closer. Whoops. Oh my God. Wow. And I'm not even done yet with this. Try and do everything as live as much as I can, but sometimes I just need to cut away to give me a chance to get stuff out of the fridge or stage. But these are fantastic. Look at that 5. smart. Didn't even know it. And obviously if you have smaller ramekins, you can do this as an appetizer. Like I said, I remember this so well. And you know, I've read discrepancies where some people just want to serve it as is, which is the way I've always seen it. And some people, you know, serve it on rice. That's fine too. I would do that sometimes because scallops are expensive. But you know, if this is dinner for your sweetheart, you're going to go all crazy. So I'm just going to spoon the extra. I want to make sure my baking sheet is clean. I see a spot, so we're going to clean that up. And hey, these dishes came from Amazon, okay? So it's not like they break the bank. I really wish you could smell this. And this is just and I wanted to make sure everything was thick enough, so I was, you know, a little conservative on the wine because, you know, I love the flavor of a good Sauvignon Blanc, so I usually put a little more in, but then I thought, oh, y'all make fun of me. Okay. Your guests will never know because they're never going to see you put your finger in it. But I just brings tears to my eyes. Alright, so like I said, I don't want to burn a whole bunch of stuff. So, what I got here: Gruyere, Swiss, and a little Parmesan cheese. I just want to get something we're going to melt on top here. Remember, I got a 400-degree oven. I want to make this nice and bubbly. So, if you want to comment, what would you serve this with? What kind of sides, you know? I would probably think about some really, something a little bitey, maybe just some spinach that you cooked in a little red wine, a little garlic. Probably you could do, it's really hard for me to focus right now. Do a beautiful like Caesar salad, so you've got all that bite from that. You could always make a salad with my Italian dressing. That would be really great. Alright, I'm going to put this in the oven. This is going to take about 10 minutes. And we're going to see what it looks like. This thing is heavy. I will be back in 10 minutes to show you the best meal you can make for your significant other. Valentine's Day is coming. See you back in 10 minutes. Alright, look at this. It's still bubbling. I just literally took it out 20 seconds ago. And I was trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with these things because they're so freaking hot. But, man, this is the kind of stuff that just really looks good. Tastes great. Less filling. No, just kidding. And to me, this is the way it should be. You know, this is hats off to people like Julia Childs that brought really great cooking to this country and didn't hide it all over in Europe. And thank goodness we have really great culinary schools that teach people. It brings tears to my eyes. This looks so good. And smell. The smell is just like, I was dying. The 10 minutes that it was in the oven was just literally too much for me to handle. So, I started to talk about the spinach, and I was thinking you could do very simple, the green bean provençal. I use frozen green beans, they're just as good. I have a thing where I do green beans. You saute a little onion, red onion in butter, throw in the green beans, get the water all out of if they're still frozen. Splash in a little red wine, and then right at the very end, how about a little dance in there, a little sour cream and a little dill on top. And let me tell you, that's a really excellent side dish, veggie. I'm telling you, this is good enough, and just fabulous enough that it would go really well with a nice dry champagne. You know, it is Valentine's Day, so let's just have fun. You know, get the old lady drunk, right? But I just kidding. But this is really, really phenomenal. And as you can see, I have 4 dishes, right? Well, I'm going to have 2 tonight for dinner, and I'm saving the other 2 for Valentine's Day, because that's how good this is. Okay, so let this cool, throw it in the freezer, back in the oven, and you'll be fine. Wow, what can I say? I outdid myself. Really appreciate the encouragement. It's like people like you that really make me try and do this as cutting edge as I can, simple as I can, and as just fabulous as I can. And I can't tell you how much I respect that and appreciate you, and just keep up the great work, and I will hold up my end of the deal. So, have a great day, do something great, ditch the flowers and chocolates and do something like this, okay? Because this is just, yeah, this will bring tears to your eyes. It is to me. So, have a great day, and I will see you with some other really goody stuff. I'm going to show you a lobster mac and cheese coming up real soon that you're just going to die for. So, that said, have a great day. See you later.